Hey there, guys. I don't know about you, but for me, if I build something out of PVC, I don't necessarily want to look at things like the text that is on the PVC. And sometimes in gluing it together, I will also have accidents with the primer. So in today's video, I am going to show you guys how I go about cleaning that up. So if that is something you guys want to see, make sure to stick around because that's going to be coming up right after. Hey there, guys. This is Jack over at Hi Redbird, where I am tirelessly working to find new ways to make the keeping of exotic animals and pets more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. And today's video is going to be about fixing mistakes, cleaning them up where you have made them. So in this instance, first of all, I want to talk about the text that is on the PVC pipe. I don't necessarily like to see that. Now, on something like this perch, I may eventually end up covering that up, and it's not really an issue. But on the risers, I tend not to cover those with vet wrap or anything else because, again, I built this really tall to try to discourage birds climbing down from the actual play area. If I texturize this entire riser, all that's going to do is encourage the bird to climb down it. So I do want this to be slick PVC pipe, but I don't want to see all of this text. I also had a little bit of a spill with the PVC primer that I use for securing all of this into place. Now there is a very, very easy way to remove all of that, and that is going to be using acetone. Now I am going to use the acetone that comes from the hardware store. Honestly, if you wanted to remove this with something like nail polish remover, the text on the PVC pipe will come off with nail polish remover, but it is going to be a good amount of work, and the primer is going to be much, much harder to remove. Now, for the acetone, first and foremost, you want to make sure that you are being safe. So you want to use something like a cover to protect your surface. Here I have a tarp. You don't want something that can soak in chemicals. So you don't want to have something like a sheet or a blanket. You want to have something that is not going to absorb those chemicals. You do want to use gloves because, again, you are going to be working with this with the chance of it getting on your skin. You want to avoid that. Now, in the past, I have recommended using mineral spirits to remove all of this. And I'm probably going to reveal a little bit more about my age than I want to. I had a can of mineral spirits that was ancient. The text on the can was barely legible. The can itself, from being in a shed, was starting to rust out. It was very, very old. So I went to get a new can of mineral spirits just for this project. And all I could find was low odor mineral spirits. And I can assure you, the one that I had before was not low odor. It definitely had to be used in a ventilated area. So I don't know if part of the label was just obscured from use, if it was a different chemical altogether. But the acetone is going to work fairly well. Now, all you're going to want to do is have some sort of cloth. You can use a cotton rag. Here, I'm just using a paper towel because you do not need much of the chemical to remove all of this text. So all I'm going to do, you can see after just a few wipes with the acetone, most of it is already off and it is on that paper towel. Now some spots, the barcode where the writing is tighter or more bold is going to need a little bit more agitation to clean it up. But you can get it reasonably clean pretty quickly. Now, you may need to do a couple of passes. You may want to go ahead and let it dry out a bit and then try again. But it will all come off. All of the text will come off reasonably easy without much work. Now, where the primer is, the primer does take a little bit more work to get that off. But we're going to use the same approach, and we are just going to go ahead, work back and forth. And as you can see, it does lighten up considerably after just a little bit of work. You may need to go ahead and, just really work at it. You may want to go ahead and also just hold that into position for a second to let it soak in. But as you can see, we've already got the majority of that gone. And it's really going to depend on how thick it is on the pipe. Since that was the very bottom of the drip, that is where the majority of it had dried. It was much darker there. So it is going to take just a little bit of work, a little bit of scrubbing. But we've got it much, much better now. After one more pass, I am not at all worried that that is going to be in good condition. So we can go ahead, I'm going to use that approach on the rest of this stand to go ahead and just take care of all of that text on the pipe that would still be visible. So again, here, since I'm going to be covering this, I don't care about that text so much, but the text that is right here, I am going to be cleaning up. Any of the text on any of these riser pieces, I am going to be cleaning up. And it's really, really easy and straightforward. Now, because I am using acetone to clean up this PVC pipe, acetone is not a chemical that I am going to be comfortable with a bird having access to. It's not something that I'm going to want to have this dry on this PVC pipe. So after I am completely done cleaning off all of the text from all of the PVC pipe, I am then going to go through with soap and water. I'm going to use soap and water and a good scrubby sponge to just get the entire surface of the pipe to make sure that I am not leaving any residue. Because I used some PVC primer, because I used the acetone, I just want to make sure that there isn't anything potentially hazardous that my bird could have access to. But that's really all there is to this step. I clean off all of the type, and then I use soap and water to clean off all of the acetone, and then we will be ready to move on to texturing all of the parts of this PVC play stand. So the end is very nearly in sight. So I hope you guys will stick around. We do just have a few more things we want to do for this PVC play stand. So if you guys liked this video, or if you just like not having this text all over your PVC play stand, go ahead and give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. I need to say thank you to my Patreon patrons for helping to make these videos possible. You can find out more by visiting Hi Red Bird on Patreon, or clicking the link in the description section down below if you would like more information. Thanks!